All right, so you guys did a basic solving the radical equations for your homework assignment. So now it's going to get into, well, what happens when there's different types of circumstances that could occur when you have your radicals, okay? So here's our first one. Looks pretty simple. The square root of 5x plus 3 plus 2 is all equal to 0. Whenever you get to solving for x and it's in the radicand of some type of radical, you want to isolate the radical and get it all by itself. So in this case, I would want to get rid of the plus 2 by moving it to the other side. So I would move it to the other side by subtracting it. So now I get the square root of 5x plus 3 equals negative 2. Well, now let's think about this. Is there any possible way for me to square root a number and end up with a negative result? No. So I'm probably going to end up with something like a no solution. But let's say you didn't notice that right away and you actually did solve it. Okay? So I square both sides. That would get me 5x plus 3 equals a positive 4. Then I would have 5x is equal to 1, x is equal to 1/5. If I plug that 1/5 back in, 5 times 1/5 is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 2, is that equal to 0? No. So right there it's showing me that 1/5 is not a solution. So if you don't realize that when you take the square root of something you can't end up with a negative, you need to make sure you check your answers for extraneous solutions. So in this case, it's going to be a no solution. Me personally, I would have just stopped right here when I moved that positive 2 over to make it become a negative 2, and then I would have realized I have an even index, and that means I cannot have a result of a negative. If it was an odd index, then that would be okay, because remember, we can take a cube root of a negative and get a negative, or we take a fifth root of a negative and get a negative. Okay, so those circumstances are okay. So, do we remember looking at extraneous solutions before? This is not the first time you heard the word extraneous. Extraneous solutions are solutions that when you plug them back into the actual equation, result in a false statement. And the whole rest of the equations that we're going to be working on today will have extraneous solutions. So we should be checking our work. All right, so equation number 2. The square root of 5 minus x equals x plus 1. So now I have two x's in my equation. I have an x on the left and I have an x on the right. So this is where the fun gets to come into play. Is my square root sign isolated? Yes. So I can square right away. So if I square the left side, then I must also square the right side. Left side's easy. Square root just goes away. So I'm left with the radicand of 5 minus x. But now what's going to happen on my right side? What do I have to do to x plus 1 to square it? Multiply it by a whole nother x plus 1. Okay, would you have to FOIL it? Can I show you a quick shortcut of what I do mentally in my head? If I see this, I'm going to take that away. So our habit is just to square the x squared and square the 1, but we always forget about the middle term. So my first term will be an x squared. To get the middle term, all you have to do is just multiply all of your terms that you have. So 2 times 1 times x leads me to get 2x. And then squaring the 1 gets me to 1, which is what you would have gotten if you FOILed out x plus 1 times x plus 1. So you get x squared, 1x to make 2x, 1 times 1. See how that works? Makes it a little bit easier. Let's see if you got it. Let's just pause for a second. Don't write these in your notes. So if I had x plus 2 squared, what would that go to? It would be x squared plus 4x plus 4, right? Square the first and the last, and then the middle term you multiply. What if I had x minus 5 squared? What would that be? X squared, what would be the middle term?
Minus 10.
Minus 10x plus 25. Good. What if I had 2x minus 1 squared? What would that be? The first term would be 4x squared. What would be your middle term?
Negative 4x.
Minus 4x, and your last term would be positive 1. Right. See how it works? Oh, that's just what I kind of do in my head. You're welcome to FOIL it out if you want. All right, so back to the problem. We have an x squared plus 2x plus a 1. So now I'm stuck with a quadratic equation. What would have been really nice if we would have had an x squared over here, because then I could have canceled out my x squareds. But now we have a quadratic. So to solve a quadratic, we want to move everything to the same side. Since my x squared is already a positive coefficient, I want to move everything over to it. So I'm going to add my x term over. I'm going to subtract my 5 over, so that I end up with 0 equals x squared plus 3x minus 4. So we can either factor that, we can use the quadratic formula. Let's factor it because it is factorable. What are factors of negative 4 to get to positive 3? It's going to be an x plus 4 and an x minus 1, right? To get to a positive 3 equals to 0. So our zero product property tells me my solutions will possibly be what two numbers?
Negative 4 and positive 1.
Good. Negative 4 and positive 1. One of them's probably going to be extraneous. So I need to check them by plugging them back into the original equation. So if I plug in negative 4, well, right away I see if I put negative 4 on the right side, negative 4 plus 1 results in a negative 3. Is there any way that my square root's going to end up being a negative? No. So right away I know that that's going to be my extraneous. If I did plug it in over on the left, 5 minus a negative 4 would be 5 plus 4, which would be the square root of 9, which is 3. And 3 does not equal negative 3. So that one does not work. Let's quickly make sure 1 also works. If I plug in 1 for my x, 5 minus 1 is 4, the square root of 4 is 2, 1 plus 1 is 2. So I know that one's good. So my only solution is 1. Okay. So when you have a radical and you have a binomial, most likely you're going to have to square that by either foiling it or using that little quick method that I showed you, and it will probably result in a quadratic equation. All right. Now, here comes another one where we're going to have to multiply it out. The square root of 1 minus 2p minus p squared equals p plus 1. My radical is isolated, so I can just go ahead and square everything right away. So my left side would just be the radicand, 1 minus 2p minus p squared. All right, what's my right side going to be? We use that little trick. P squared plus 2p plus 1. Okay. Here I have a positive p squared, so let's move everything from the left over to the right, which means I'm going to add a p squared, add a p squared, add a 2p, add a 2p, subtract a 1, subtract a 1, which leaves me with 0 on the left, 2p squareds, plus 4p, and my constants go away. Well, that's nice. So that makes it easier to factor. What's the GCF of 2p squared and 4p? 2p. So if I factor out a 2p, or not to p, it's always the question, right? So we got p plus 2 left over inside. So what are your possible solutions? 0 and negative 2. Which one do you think is the extraneous one? Negative 2, definitely, because if I plug it in over here, I'm going to get a negative. right? So I'm not even going to worry about plugging it on the other side. Let's quickly check 0, just to make sure I don't end up with no solution. So if I plug in zeros everywhere, I would just be left with a square root of 1, which is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1, and 1 does equal 1. So 0 is my solution. Okay. All right, you ready for the hardest one that you will possibly have? So we're going to have to do double solving. So when you have a double radical, this will be the hardest thing that you'll see for this section. Double radicals. Square root of 2x plus 3.
Question is, can we square all of them at once?
No, we cannot do that, unfortunately, because of that plus sign. If it was multiplication, then we could, and then we'd just get rid of everything. So that plus sign keeps us from not being able to do that. So whenever you have a situation where you have two square root signs, your goal is to isolate one of them. I personally would isolate the one that has the more complex numbers in the radicand. When I mean complex, just larger numbers. Like 2x plus 3 seems a little bit more intense than an x plus 1 if I were to multiply things. So I would isolate the 2x plus 3 and leave that on the left. And I'm going to move that square root of x plus 1 over to the other side. So that results in a square root of 2x plus 3 equals 1 minus the square root of x plus 1. So now when we square the left side, again we're just going to be left with our radicand. But now when I square this side, I'm going to have to multiply that out. So we can use our little trick. It still works here. If you square your first, 1 squared is 1. Now I need to get my middle term. So I'm going to do 2 times a negative square root of x plus 1 times a 1. How would that end up getting us?
Negative 2 square roots of x plus 1.
Yeah, good. Negative 2 square roots of x plus 1. Now when you square the last term, what would happen to the square root of x plus 1 squared? It would just become an x plus 1, right? Because your square roots would go away. And it would be a positive x plus 1, right? Good. All right, so now we can combine like terms. I have a 1 plus a 1, which would go to a 2 minus 2 square roots of x plus 1 plus x equals 2x plus 3. All right, well now I'm still stuck with our square root. So now we got to isolate that square root. So we got some options. We can either move that over to the other side, make it become a positive, and then move everything to the right, or just move everything to the left and just deal with the negative. And I'm okay with dealing with the negative. So let's move everything but this negative 2 square roots of x plus 1 to the other side. So I'm going to subtract my 2 over to the 3. I'm going to subtract my x over to the 2x. Huh? So now we have x plus 1 equals negative 2 square roots of x plus 1. I could technically divide out that negative 2, but then when I go and square everything, that's going to get really funky over here if I had to deal with fractions. So let's just leave it there. So it's not that hard to square a negative 2. So since this is mostly isolated, we can square the right side. When I square the right side, I'm going to move up here so people in the back can see. I need to make sure I square both the negative 2. So negative 2 squared is a 4. And when I square the square root of x plus 1, that would just get rid of the square root sign. And then I have to make sure I square the x plus 1. What's that going to end up with? X squared plus what? 2x plus 1. Good. All right, now that's a much simpler equation that we can solve, right? So distribute your 4. That gets me x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 4x plus 4. Move everything to the left because I have a positive x squared term. So I'm going to subtract a 4x over. I'm going to subtract a 4 over. So now I have the quadratic x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Factors of -3 that get us to -2. -3, 1, so x minus 3, x plus 1, which means my possible solutions are -1 and 3. All right, so now we got to check them. This one's a little bit harder to check because we don't have anything over here on the right side to say, oh, that one gets us a negative, so it can't be that. So we have to actually plug them all in. Let's try -1 first. If I plug in -1, 2 times -1 is -2. -2 plus 3 is 1. The square root of 1 is 1. When I plug in -1 here, -1 plus 1 is 0. The square root of 0 is 0. Does 0 plus 1 equal 1? Yes, that one's good. Let's check 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Is 3 plus 2 equal to 1? No. So definitely not 3. Bless you. So our only solution is -1. Okay? So that'll be the hardest one that you have because you kind of have to do double foiling. Because when you foil the first time, you're still left with the radical, so then you have to foil again to get to another quadratic. All right, and did you guys do something like this for your homework where you just have to move that over to the other side? Okay, so we're good to go there. All right, so that is it.